Welcome to the Tech Corner, where we talk about the latest tech news in these tech streets. And in today's episode, we're gonna talk smartwatches from yours truly, the smartwatch guru. Yes, I use a lot of Galaxy smartwatches, so I might know something. So let's get into it and let's break it all down for those of you out there who are shopping the brand new Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 and Watch 6 Classic. Now, I'm super amped about the rotating bezel coming back. I don't know what Samsung was thinking with the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, but nonetheless, there are some key differences that you need to know in these new watch models versus the previous, so that you can be prepared and understand what you're getting yourself into. Now, the Watch 6 Classic will be the largest Galaxy Watch Classic version to date, with a 47mm large version as well as a 43mm small version. Now, this is in comparison to the Watch 5 Pro, which came in at 45mm, and then the Watch 4 Classic, which had a 42mm version and a 46mm version. So a 1mm increase in sizing from the Watch 4 Classic to the Watch 6 Classic. Now, just for comparison's sake, the Watch 6 is coming in a 40mm and a 44mm. Now, here's a key takeaway in display size between the Watch 6 Classic and the Watch 6. There is no difference. They're using the exact same display sizes on their models. So if you opt for the smaller model, you get the same 1.31 inch display. And if you go for the larger model, you get the exact same 1.47 inch display. Versus the Watch 4 Classics, which gives you the option of a 1.2 inch OLED or a 1.4 inch OLED. Well, on the Watch 5 Pro, you're being given a 1.36 inch. Now, every single one of these are rocking the Samsung AMOLED goodness, but there is a difference in pixel density, which means honestly the Watch 6 Classic and the Watch 6 is going to have a far denser PPI than the previous models, which means better visuals. So this is a W in terms of the new model of the Watch 6 Classic and Watch 6, because you know a lot of people out there are just going to be looking at certain specs and they might get a little down about certain things, but there's actually some things to be excited about. And honestly, you guys already know I'm gonna drill these things to absolute goodness so that you guys can know what's really real out here. And here's a quick example. The Watch 6 Classic has a 453 PPI pixel density versus 321 and 330 on the previous Watch 5 Pro and Watch 4 Classic. That's a pretty huge leap. So that means clarity and butter crispness is coming to the Watch 6 Classic on its OLED panel. I'm super hype about that. Now, material and sizing is all gonna lead to a difference in weight. As far as material goes, the Watch 6 Classic is going back to its roots with the stainless steel versus the Watch 5 Pro, which came in at a more expensive titanium build. Now, if you go for just the regular Watch 6, you're just getting the typical aluminum, which is extremely light, might I add. And just for specifics and comparison, the Watch 6 Classic, 77 grams on the small one or 85 grams for that big 47mm model. The Watch 6 aluminum is 28.6 grams for the small model and 33.3 grams for the larger model. That's a huge difference in weight. But when we move into the Watch 5 Pro, it's at a nice light titanium 46 grams. That's a huge weight reduction compared to the stainless steel weight that we're getting on the Watch 6 Classic. And the Watch 6 Classic is also a lot heavier than the Watch 4 Classic. Something to note, 46.3 grams for the smaller version and 52 grams at the larger size. So why such a huge leap in weight? It's simple. Battery sizing. Now, the Watch 6 Classic has a nice size battery in comparison to the Watch 4 Classic, but not so nice in comparison to the Watch 5 Pro, if it makes sense. Let's get into the specs. Now, whether you choose the Watch 6 Classic or the Watch 6, they have the exact same battery. So the smaller models are gonna have a 300 milliamp hour battery versus the larger models, which have a 425 milliamp hour battery sizing. But the Watch 5 Pro had a whopping 590 milliamp hour battery. That's hard to compete with. And that was that battery leap that got us that battery life that we wanted and we were searching for. So the Watch 4 Classic came in at 247 milliamp hours on a smaller model versus the 361 milliamp hours on the larger model. So it's a nice leap in battery sizing on the Watch 6 Classic versus the Watch 4 Classic, which is its direct competitor. Now, Samsung did implement a brand new Exynos W930 processing chip on the Watch 6 Classic and Watch 6 versus the previous Exynos W920, but they're both 5nm chips, so we can't say for sure if the battery is gonna get an improvement from this unless it's optimized to HE double hockey sticks, if you get what I'm saying. But nevertheless, you already know the proof is in user experience. We can't just make speculations based off of spec sheet and tech sheet reads. You guys already know, hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell, because y'all know I get busy with these Samsung Galaxy watches. As you guys can see, comparison videos to every model coming, comparison videos so that you can pick the right size, the right weight, everything. Thank you for watching the Tech Corner and pulling up for episode 2. More coming on the way.
It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. Misunderstood. Get up, had to beat those eyes. Got up and I beat those eyes. It's understood. It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. And now I'm good. Wake up and I do my part. Wake up and I do my job. Just how I should. It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. Misunderstood. Get up, had to beat those eyes. Got up and I beat those eyes. That's understood. It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. And now I'm